In 2014, the foundation established the Wendy B. McDonald Award to acknowledge a woman who has established herself as a critical contributor to her company's success and affected change within the power transmission motion control industry. Wendy's son, Scott McPherson, is here today to help present this year's award. Scott, come on up. It's our honor to announce this year's recipient. It is Linda Miller of B&D Industrial. Linda, would you please join us on stage? Wendy B. McDonald, or Mrs. Mack as she was known to many, didn't plan to become president of one of the largest power transmission motion control distributors in Canada. Like Mrs. Mack, Linda also wasn't seeking a career in the field. She joined what then was Bearings and Drives in 1975. She had just moved to Macon from Jackson, Mississippi, and had been referred to Bearings and Drives by a previous employer, ironically, which was Motion Industries. Her interview with company founder, John B. Nations, was not your typical interview, but it goes to demonstrate how Linda's willingness to learn landed her the job. And here's basically her story. She said, I went in for an interview with Mr. Nations, and I thought he was old, but maybe 50 at the time. If you knew Mr. Nations, you knew he was very reserved and spoke very quietly. While he was sitting behind his desk, he told me there was an opening for a clerk typist. Linda was devastated because she couldn't type. It just wasn't something she'd learned in school. Music and Latin were her two electives, and typing wasn't required, so she never took it. So she told Mr. Nations, I can't type. He asked me, so when can you start? Thinking he didn't hear me, she said, Mr. Nations, I don't know how to type. Again, he asked, when are you available to start? Now, she was thinking that he was hard of hearing, so being so old and all. She said in a loud voice, Mr. Nations, I'm really sorry, but there's no way I can type. He looked up from his desk and asked Linda, can you hunt and peck? To which she replied, yes, sir, I can. She said she could start in 2 weeks, and that was 41 years ago. Amazing. It was shortly after Linda joined the company that they ordered their first computer. While at B&D Industrial, President Andy Nations studied programming at IBM's Education Center in Atlanta. He shared his knowledge with an eager Linda, and she was tasked with keying in the programs Andy had written. Soon enough, Linda was attending IBM training herself and was rewarded with her information technology skills by being named manager of IT in 1982. Linda's skills were not limited to technology. As Linda trained others on new systems that were being installed, she also learned about the people she was training. Andy says of Linda, she has natural ability to relate and communicate to fellow employees and took an interest in learning more about human resources. It was a natural next step for Linda to be B&D's first manager of human resources in 1996, in addition to her IT responsibilities. Her contributions to the company in this dual role were recognized with her election to vice president later the same year. The desire to learn and apply what she learned also extended to her volunteer work, as she was instrumental in development of product price information format that streamlines communication of this essential data from manufacturer to distributor. Linda's industry reach extended to other distributors of bearings with her work as on the board of directors of the Bearing Specialist Association, concluding with her presidency in that association in 2012 and 2013. In nominating Linda for the award, the B&D employee Brian Dials summed up his respect for Linda and her contributions to the industry as he wrote, she's absolutely one of the kindest, authentic people I know, and all who have crossed her paths can see and feel her genuineness. Please join me in congratulating Linda Miller. Linda.
Boy, have I got a lot of people fooled. It's with great honor that I accept the Wendy B. McDonald Award. It's given me the opportunity to honor Ms. Mack, as well as others that have influenced my life. Ms. Mack was definitely the first female leader in our industry and well respected by all who knew her or knew of her. I remember the first time I actually met her. I felt like I was meeting a celebrity, and I was. But this keeps fluctuating in and out. I guess we're okay. She had quite a list of accomplishments. 1982, Canadian Businesswoman of the Year. 1987. Okay. Why is this going in and out? All right, 1982 Canadian Businesswoman of the Year, 1987 Better Business Bureau's 75th Anniversary Business Person of the Year, 1988 YWCA's Woman of Distinction, 1990 elected first female chair of the 103-year-old Vancouver Board of Trade, 1996 received honorary doctorate of laws from Simon Fraser University, 1997 member of the Order of Canada, 1999 Pacific Canadian Entrepreneur of the Year, 2001 BD Businesswoman of the Year, 2005 Canadian Woman Entrepreneur Lifetime Achievement Award, 2006 Association of Women in Finance Lifetime Achievement Award, 2006 Business in Vancouver's Influential Woman in Business Lifetime Achievement Award, 2007 inducted as Business Laureate into BC Hall of Fame. And there were many others, but I didn't think they would give me time to stand up here and read them all, so I just picked out a few. Now you can see why it's such an honor to receive this award. She's truly an amazing woman. I have been in this industry since 1975, as Mike referred to it. There weren't many females in any positions other than clerical positions, and that is why I decided to take that typing job. And I want you to know I did learn to type without using the keyboard, and I was very proud of myself for that minor accomplishment. I remember after I got into management and got involved into BSA, it was after Andy was president and wanted us represented on the IT committee. So he said, Linda, can you start going to BSA and be on the IT committee? So I said, great, love it. But almost everyone I met, first thing they would say when I would say, hi, I'm Linda Miller, oh, you must be Tom Miller's wife. Well, Tom was with my competition, and I'm like, no, I work for Bearings and Drives, I work for Andy Nation, so I'm not Tom's wife. And then they would say, oh, you work for Andy, I know Andy, that's great. And they would walk off. So I hung out with the spouses, because it really seemed strange hanging out with the guys. You know, that was just not acceptable. And so then the spouses would be like, Linda, you want to go shopping with us tomorrow? Or you want to go on this tour tomorrow? This is what we're doing. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could, but I'm here for the meetings. I don't think Andy would appreciate paying for me to come and then me go shopping. So it was really different back then. And boy, have things changed. I look out over this audience and I see a lot of females. And I am so proud that females have gotten into this industry. The ones we have within our company are excelling at what they're doing. They have a knack and want a desire, and I've seen them advance, and it's wonderful. I want to thank the PTDA Foundation for awarding me this honor. I want to thank the Nations family for giving me the opportunity that they gave me to have a career with a great company in a great industry. You won't find a better family than the Nations family anywhere, and I know I'm very lucky to have been a part of the B&D family. I want to thank Conrad Stelling, who 41 years ago had a lot of patience teaching me the bearing interchange. It was before computers, so you literally just had to sit there and watch these boring tapes over and over, what was interchangeable with what, and memorize the nomenclature so you would know it. He also helped me understand the business we were in better. Some mornings, the smell from the paper mill was so awful. You'd be gagging. It was in your car, it was in the air, it was in the buildings, and it smelled like rotten eggs. Conrad would always smile and say, "That means they're running. That means they're going to buy more bearings, and so that's a good smell. Quit complaining." Since then, the EPA's cleaned it up, and we don't have that awful smell in Macon, but I remember back in the 70s, it was really, really bad. I want to thank Brian Dowles, our employee who nominated me. It means a lot that he took the time to submit the nomination. I want to thank my mother, who taught me from an early age you shouldn't be afraid to try to do something if you don't know. You just got to try. I remember one day coming home from junior high school, and our toaster, our pop-up toaster, was laid out in 1,000 pieces across the kitchen table. And I walked in the door and I said, "Mama, what on earth are you doing?" And she said, "Well, our toaster broke, so I thought I would see if I could fix it. If I can, we can save money and don't have to buy a new toaster. If I can't, it doesn't matter. It was broken and not working anyway." And that made a real big impact on me, that you don't know unless you try. There she was, trying to fix a toaster of all things. I want to thank my father, who taught me to always thank God for what we have, work hard, and be honest. In closing, I want to say I do love this industry. Without the people in this room, the world would not exist as we know it today. Nothing could be processed, nothing could be manufactured, and nothing would move. Now, in my book, that's pretty heavy. So I want to say thanks to each and every one of you for contributing to the lifestyle that we've come to enjoy. And I want you to always remember the Wayne Gretzky, the Canadian hockey player, saying, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." With that, I'll turn it over. They're probably tired of hearing me talking anyway, but thank you. It is a great honor to accept this award.
Thank you. Scott and I are presenting Linda not only with an award for her to display, but we're also presenting her with a crystal bracelet, which is so reminiscent of Mrs. Mack.